Hello, citizens of the planet Earth, and welcome to the Frontiers. We are reviewing, for the first time on my channel, I'm going to be reviewing a game. It's not actually going to be a let's play of it just yet, it's just going to be a replay. I'm into this replaying thing, so keep that in mind. I'm going to try to do my best. And yeah, so today's subject is going to be Wolfenstein: The New Order, a highly anticipated title from Bethesda Softworks. It was developed by Machine Games, which are the remnants of the developer studio that produced stuff like Darkness and The Chronicles of Riddick. Now, for some bloody reason, this game is really tough to record. I mean, I cannot... What is wrong with this? Enable, disable, for Christ, well... Cache size low. Max PPF, what is the lowest? 16. Shadow resolution, what is the lowest? 2028. The game is locked to have some minimal requirements for it to run, and maybe it just don't meet those requirements. And so yeah, the Wolfenstein is the continuer of the franchise that has a very, very long story, right? And I don't actually have a whole lot of history of like playing the games, the Wolfenstein games before this one. So between Wolfenstein 3D and this, I have a huge gap of having no knowledge whatsoever of how the Wolfenstein has been developing. So I was just waiting for a good game. I was hoping for a nice, good, interesting game written like Nazis, right? Like, it's just you kill Nazis. You're a one-man army. What could go wrong here, right? Well, I think they hit the mark here. Mostly. Now, looking at the menu already, you can see that there's no load option and there's no multiplayer option. Why? I don't know. That's the developer's personal decision, but I think that is because of the consoleizing that I call it. Because I don't know, is it really that hard to implement save load feature for the consoles? I am no expert, but the save load feature is just something so very basic of any game that it should be at its core. But no, there is not even a quick save available. It's just all wired to checkpoints, hardwired to checkpoints, and you have to get to those checkpoints. You can't even save. And per se, if I wanted to resume the current campaign, there's only one current campaign available. I can't replay a chapter, because then I'll have to start the chapter I was playing on anew. At least that's what I assumed it is. So let's take a look at some of the menus here, just because before we start, maybe diving into the actual gameplay. We have chapters menu. As you can see here, there are 16 total chapters in the entire game. I have to play further to unlock. I'm actually on the Gibraltar Bridge right now, which is really, really far into the game. So, spoiler alert! If you don't want to spoil the game for you, you might have as well not clicked this video at all. I'm going to put this into the title that this review contains spoilers, or might contain spoilers, I don't know yet. But there are basically two timelines in here, which I think combine, like, it took me around 10 hours to get this far on Uber difficulty, which is the highest difficulty. And it's pretty tough. I mean, it's a really, really hard game with a lot of really tough enemies to deal with. And let's dive right in, shall we? There is a choice that you make it right at the start that basically separates these into different timelines, because then the history goes for 14 years on after the choice you make. Let's try to get some gameplay going here, shall we? But I'm actually really afraid that this frame rate is just gonna kill me, and I'm not gonna be able to record. I'm so very afraid. I'm so very afraid. But apart from the actual FPS drops when you record stuff, which are maybe bound to happen, it's okay. It's really low FPS, as you can see here, but you might as well see that the game looks really cool. Maybe if the textures load, then it will work better. The textures work on the cache basis, so there are textures that are getting loaded into the cache, as you can see here. The memory cache is really low. I set it down to minimal, so the memory cache for textures is really low. You basically only load what you see right now, and as I think I get it, the more you have the cache, the less you will see this weird like loading stuff in and so on and so forth. Because right now it looks really awkward. I have to admit it looks really awkward. I'm not actually gonna move right now, and I'm gonna explain some basic stuff here. So, what do we have here? It's a Wolfenstein game. Right now, this particular mission is a pretty linear start. Right now, it's a pretty linear start. We crash a train. Sorry, we crash a train, and we now have to infiltrate the train for to get to the moon, I suppose. I'm to be honest, I didn't really listen to what she said in the beginning. I kind of missed that part. But as you can see here, there is a lot of stuff going on with this train rack. Also, take a look at this sniper rifle. It reflects the surroundings in a scope. Isn't that awesome? Take a look. Take a closer look at that scope. This is really well done. It's really well made. As you can see here, these two soldiers are trying to release the Übersoldaten under some kind of wreckage. So this is all like train wreck situation we've created here. Bridge wreck, sorry. And yeah, so that's basically it. The concrete is very moldy, as you can see. There is an explanation why the concrete is very moldy, guys. I don't have an explanation why the concrete is so terribly looking. Maybe because I should upgrade my PC really for the recording purposes. Anyway, what is Wolfenstein at its core, you ask? It's a shooter. You have guns, you shoot people, you explore the areas. As you can see here we have a map. We can have this map of the whole area. You can find the map for the area in some places, but for some time usually you have to just kind of mark your way through. You open the areas around. You can see that that's the bridge. That's like let's imagine that's like the train wreck, and you know, stuff like that. You explore the area. You gather collectibles, which include. Let's take a look at them actually. Collectibles include enigma codes, letters from various characters to various characters, which I'm not going to show you right now, as well as enigma codes, mostly because I don't know how the enigma codes work. Gold, you get lots of gold. Nazis have lots of gold. That has never changed. You can steal all that gold too, which is really nice. You get the concept art, which is amazing. I love the concept art. Characters, I'm not going to show you yet because it might be spoilers. Records. This is the records of songs that you might have heard in the tutorial. Oh, sorry, not the tutorial. God damn it, in the trailers. Apologize for a second. My throat is getting a little bit itchy. And the health upgrades. You can also find health upgrades in those. And these are something new. These are the recordings. There's a storyline recordings that you essentially just get from your base as you just kind of run around. You don't have to look for them. You just kind of get them eventually. So, as I'm in the Fergus timeline, as it says in the tutorial, tutorials are really nice. You can always access them. They're really nice. They allow you to learn about stuff and about upgrades. Cut thin metal covers, like you can cut through these things right here. Fergus timeline, there it is. You've unlocked the Fergus timeline, allow you to access additional areas using hot wiring skill and finding special health upgrades. I don't know what the other timeline unlocks, but it might be really good too. And yeah, so these are the notes. The notes are basically like the journal for your targets. And now we have the perks. The perks is the only RPG thing you're gonna see in the Wolfenstein. You can see that there are four sort of trees that allow you for the different play styles. But if you actually take a look at them, like for example the Scout 1, Stealth Killer Commander, it unlocks the perks by actually doing stuff in the game, and it's mostly just for your personal enjoyment. You could just play without perks entirely, but at some point in the game you will eventually Stealth Killer Commander, and you get the Scout 1 perk, Stealth Killing Commander as well. Add interest points to the map, displays on screen Commander intel, so that's really important. Knife throwing, you can unlock the ability to throw knives. You can get stealth kills from throw knives to increase the amount of knives you carry, and I think this is even more knives. This is a silent shot for using silent handgun. Perform silent takedowns with overcharged health. Unlock the ability to receive health from performing takedowns. This is really important. Health points are added up to maximum health level. Scout 2 displays commanders on the map. And final upgrade here. Assassin reduces the sounds made while sprinting, increases movement speed while crouching. I'm actually really close to finishing that up, so that might be really, really good. The Kampfhunds are just like the dogs, you just stab them while they sleep. The tactical is more like you fight the enemy, but you actually fight him from a distance. These two are the trees I like the most. But eventually I just try to run around with the dual wield too, because that just accept it, it's fun, and eventually you will have to meet like a really, like, I don't know, a Sturmpanzer of some sort that you'll have to basically just take on with dual wielding assault rifles and just hope and pray for the best, right? Also you have this, I have a quick regeneration, I have quick draw, gun magazines here mostly, and the kills using the marksman cannon, or sorry, marksman rifle. Marksman ammo is just really, really scarce, that's why I didn't get this yet. So I need just 6 more kills to unlock this. This is really cool. Dual wield expert increases ammunition storage, increases the chance of dual wield dismemberment, battery size. Indirect kills using the LKW reflection upgrade. This is interesting. Outer Panzer unlocks the ability to receive armor for quick consecutive kills. Endurance. Holding turrets. Dual wielding sprint speed. A lot of this stuff is basically just you unlock it the way you play it, and you basically get like, oh, now I can do this even better, yay! So yeah, that's the perk system in the Wolfenstein. Now, let's take a look at actual weapons. There are not too many of them, I have to say. You have the knife, which is always with you. I'm sorry for a little bit of a, I don't know, maybe frame rate drops and freezes, but keep on with me, guys. This is not gonna last for too long. I'm just gonna explain to you the basic stuff and leave. I promise you, this is all because of the recording, because the game works fine, is well optimized for most of the machines. The some requirements I will talk about later on, but for the majority of the time the game runs pretty stable. It's really nice. It's really, really nice looking, and yeah, the textures are high quality. As you can see here, there's this like asphalt looks really nice, and the concrete looks amazing too. And unfortunately, faces of those poor Übersoldaten also look really, really nice and realistic too. And I just pray they were not as detailed as they are, because they're just like Frankenstein monsters from the future. So basically, knife is your basic takedown weapon. Silently approach and stab the people in the back. You know, stab the hounds, stab the hunts, stab the dogs, stab the people, stab the commanders. You get the commanders to find the intel. You get the commanders so they don't call for backup, and that sort of jazz. 2 key is for some goddamn reason assigned to grenades. Tesla grenades. for that matter. I don't get me wrong, grenades are really useful, but I just think that assigning a specific button for them is really something that you don't need to do. Now, for the third key, the 3 key, or whatever it is you reassign, if you reassign it, is the handgun. And the handgun is really a very good weapon. Let me show you a little bit as we go it around. Maybe we can open a tutorial with a much better overview of the handgun. Handgun 1960. So this is the handgun, the upgrade that you basically have to stick with for your entire life. It's a really it's a really nice gun. It's really powerful at taking down mostly any enemy with a single headshot. It's that powerful, especially if you upgrade a perk for it, which increases the silenced handgun damage by 1%. Might as well take a look around. Maybe we can see something beautiful. There's a health pack. And I can explain how health works in a second, right? As soon as I finish with weapons, I'm gonna explain other aspects of the game. For the 4 key, you have your assault rifle. Now, the assault rifle used to be really generic, just like shoot 'em up, 45 ammo, magazine type of fed weapon. You just point and shoot. Basically, it's actually really similar to a submachine gun more than just like something like an assault rifle. But you know, it does what it does. You shoot people with it, they die from from an overdose of I forgot the word for the material that you make that we make bullets from. Oh my god, I feel so embarrassed right now. Oh no. Oh, I actually feel really sad and embarrassed. Anyway, forget about bullets. And just recently here in this very mission, I received an upgrade called the rocket launcher for an assault rifle. So this basically turns my assault rifle into some kind of a small rocket launcher. And it has a really neat targeting system with this weird rectangular sort of... So it's more of actually a grenade, maybe like a grenade propelled grenade launcher, something like that, along those lines. Oh my god, what's wrong with my throat today? I should have eaten that ice cream earlier. Oh god, my throat. I'm still so sick apparently. Anyway, up on to the next one, which is this beautiful white sniper rifle. With look at the scope. It's really nice, and you have all these ocular dioptry 5 x 65mm Thalberg-Werker. I like these captions. These are cool, and they add to atmosphere a little bit of their own kind of charm to the weapon too. And yeah, take a look at the never mind actually the textures loading up in front of you. Just disregard that. Recording issues are there, and you know, when I was recording the first time, this is actually a second attempt to record this review. I'm going to share with you that much. My recording software simply recorded black screen, so keep that in mind. You have to record from an actual DirectX input if you have option to, not a part of your screen where you think your game is running in. No, even if you're running in the windowed full screen mode, it will not detect your game. It will be a black screen. You don't want a black screen. You want a game. So that's why I'm going through all this roughness of actually trying to tell you about stuff with having like 11 frame rate per second. This is really annoying. So where was I? Oh, this is a sniper rifle. The sniper rifle is pretty effective at taking down targets if you hit them in the head. If you hit them in the chest, or you know, depending on the weapon, the various parts of the whatever mechanical Nazi body they have, it'll take much more than that, because you know, it's not the head, it's not the weak spot you're supposed to hit with the sniper rifles. It's a marksman rifle. You get this sort of like 4 times zoom in that scope, I think. So yeah, that's more of a marksman rifle than an actual sniper rifle, but you know, it still does the job right. After the next weapon, we have an automatic shotgun. Look at this beauty. Look at this goddamn beautiful bastard of a weapon, that is. It has 2 types of shells it can fire. It can fire just your usual shotgun shells, or you can switch them up to shrapnel shells, which will actually bounce off the ground and other indestructible objects but deal less direct damage. So the shrapnel is very, very, very effective in the closed up areas with walls, as long as if we in the closed areas on the open, like this one for example, we could use the just usual shells and just knock targets out and that get close up but to us. And finally the trademark weapon. The trademark weapon that you'll have to get really, really used to is called the Laserkraft. Oh god, the Laserkraftwerk. And it's a really, really goddamn nice weapon to have. Essentially what you start with is a small and weak laser cutter. Then you upgrade it once or twice maybe, I don't remember. And then in one of the science labs you find this bad boy, and you just basically throw away your laser cutter and take this for a spin. And now we have like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 upgrades attached to this single weapon. This is like the signature weapon of Blazkowicz at this point. You have the scope, you have the Tesla coil attached to it, we have like the flashlight generator, we have the reflector, which allows the beam to reflect from various surfaces. We also have the spare generator, which allows me to not use any like charging station to charge the laser up, which you have to do initially when you get the weapon. We have the automatic mode, of course, as well. And yeah, so that's a very, 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 very efficient weapon if used correctly. You have to use it correctly. The railgun is not a shotgun. It's not an actual like the. It's not even the sniper rifle. I mean, with sniper rifles, you can't select 2 targets or maybe even 3 targets and shoot at all of them simultaneously. That is not what a sniper rifle would do. With this case, railgun can select you. See these weird little rectangles in the middle? Those are the enemies. When I press fire button, all these rectangles will receive a dose of railgun awesomeness that is this weapon. They will get shot with lasers, destroyed, obliterated, sent into oblivion, and so on and so forth. A really, really nice weapon. I can't recommend it much. I can recommend it like in a good way, as in like I have no words to describe how useful it is. Now to talk a little bit about armor and health system, which is presented in the game. If you don't know, or you maybe have been playing too many modern blockbuster shooters, there is a health and armor system in the game. This is an old school system of having health and having armor as representative stats of your hero. You don't have to. You can't just crawl back to cover and regenerate all of your health if you're getting shot at, as if it's like a scar or something like that, or you know, a bee bites or something along those lines. This is like the actual number that represents how close you are to dying, but it has a weird thing about it. It actually regenerates, but at a very, very slow rate and a very weird portions. So let's say I have 170 health and I get hit a couple times. My health gets reduced to like 172, right? Since I have a maximum of 117 and my health reduces to 172, the health will regenerate to 170. But if I am hurt below 170, oh sorry, 160, to like 155 or something, let's say, then the health will only go up to 160. Then it goes up to 140 if below that. 120 is below that, and so on and so forth until you die. Now, armor. allows you to consume some portion of that damage and reduce it significantly, but also consumes the point of armor in the progress. Points of armor. Now there's also a very interesting mechanic I want to explain here. It's inherited by the Doom and like the Quake and all other old school shooters. It's called the overcharge of your health. If you're not familiar, if you pick up the health packs, which you actually can do to reach higher than your actual health limit is, it will say the overcharge, as you can see here, and if you actually take it, your health will go above your maximum limit. But the more you have, the faster it will degenerate to your maximum level. So you have to, you can sort of infuse yourself with all these medipacks and just walk outside and be an unstoppable killing machine for a little bit, and then you'll get to your normal health, or even less if you're not going to kill all your enemies in the short, very short time you have. You cannot overcharge your armor, obviously. You can't just infuse your armor with even more armor if there is no more armor to, like, if you're armored from all the way from the head to your freaking knees, or even lower than that, then what's the point? You might as well just strap this additional armor onto your gun or something. Literally, not quite. Now, that's basically how the health and armor system works in this game. Now, maybe, if you excuse me, I'll actually try and engage in some combat, basically just to show you off how awesome this railgun actually is. So we have two soldiers trying to take the Übersoldaten out of the wreck. Now watch as they will get vanished. Yeah, the lag though. Oh, and we spent all of our power doing that too, and one of them survived. That's not cool. So one of them died, and this Übersoldaten died. Yeah, god damn, the FPS drops are just insane. Oh my, it's not representative of combat at all. I want to just leave to menu or something, because this is ridiculous. This is stupid. I might as well just tell you about the combat. And I've shown you all the weapons. I've shown you how it looks like. I've shown you the perks system and the collectibles. So I might as well go back to menu and kind of summarize up on what we actually saw. Unfortunately, no real gameplay. That really sucks. I expected to record Wolfenstein, but apparently my PC capabilities will not allow me to do so, which really makes me think about upgrading it. And I am scared, well scared by this thought, because it's gonna cost me a lot. Ah, well. Anyway, so what did we see? We saw a shooter. We didn't actually saw any shooting or gunplay or any sort of gunfight happen apart from that railgun shot. But I assure you, after playing 10 hours of the game, you can also go and watch some other gameplay videos of that, and I highly recommend that you watch the Total Biscuit review on that, and the Jesse Cox playthrough on it is really nice too. Since I'm not going to be recording, I might as well just advertise other people, right? So you might go and watch the videos if you want to. Yeah, so, but if you actually want to play it yourself, and you've been thinking about whether or not you should get it, it is probably a good choice to pick it up if you can run it on actual, like, maybe medium, better, even better high. I get around 30-40 FPS on medium without recording, and I consider that to be pretty okay. I can shoot, I can play, I can do whatever I want. Hell, I don't actually know how much FPS I'm getting, because I haven't been running any FPS calculating software during my sessions, because I didn't want really to break immersion. But that's okay. The game is really well optimized, maybe not for recording though, because I'm really getting really huge FPS drops on recording. But that's not an issue whatsoever when you actually play the game, because when it's playing, the performance is amazing, especially if you tweak it right. So, a little bit about the paths. So that the pros and contras for the games for the game are: pros, really good in the gunplay with a lot of weapons. I forgot to mention, though, that the diversity of the weapons in the selection wheel is backed up by the ability of basically dual wield almost any weapon apart from the grenade and the laser Kraftwerk. You can't dual wield laser Kraftwerk, that would be insanely overpowered. But you can dual wield handguns, you can dual wield knives, you can dual wield assault rifles, you can dual wield shotguns, and even sniper rifles if you so desire. You can dual wield them, you can shoot people up, tear places apart. You can even switch off to use both assault rifles in rocket mode and just wreck face if you have enough rockets. So yeah, that the freedom of choice here really allows you to have a lot of firepower at your disposal. Now, that's some pros. That's really good gunplay, and there's pretty good story too. I've promised spoilers, and I'm gonna show you a little bit of the collectibles. So there's mostly some gold here, mostly different kinds of gold stuff, starting from medallions, which actually makes sense, to the golden doorknobs. I mean, why would you even take a golden bloody doorknob? Or make a gold helmet? Who would even wear a gold helmet? This is so impractical. A gold watch, it's not even working. It's made purely out of gold. Golden swords, golden meds I can get. I can get. Why would you do that? Golden rabbits. I mean, yeah, gold rabbits. Gold army man. Gold chamber part. Gold crown. Why? Gold robot toy. Why would you make that atrocity? But yeah, it exists, and you can steal. You can steal it from Nazis, and I guess better keep it with Nazis. Keep it away from Nazis than letting them keep it to themselves, right? So that's gold. That's here. Let's go to the concept art. That's a lot of concept art here. You can find a lot of interesting stuff. Asylums, about the Oder Bridge, the famous train to Berlin scene, which made it into all the trailers, the headquarters of the secret police, the prison you break into, and yada yada yada, and so on and so forth. The moon dome. They even let you shoot the moon. Like, you can basically just trash the entire construct onto the ground. This is really cool. The artifacts. I'm gonna actually just quickly get through them. The concentration camp. So yeah, that's really cool concept art for the game, and you get a story attached to it as well. The characters. I think I'm gonna just show you mostly just enemies. The Panzerhund. The enemies are mostly divided between two timelines. Times 1946. This is the Panzerhund. This is the Nazi soldier. The Kampfhund, and then they develop the commander. In 1946 look like this. The Super Soldaten look like this. And what's the Death Hat Commander? Death Hat's oh, these guys. Oh yeah, the Jones, and you get Commandos. And Commander 1960 looks a lot different. The Kampfhund looks different, and everything has changed. There's like the prison guard melee. The Panzerhund 1960 is freaking brutally scary. It is remarkable. I mean, yeah. Where's the guard robot? No, it's a guard robot, but where's the huge robot? There was a huge robot too. Caroline Air Force Commander. I think this one. Yeah, that's a heavy robot. That's the toughest thing you have to fight ever. Anyway, letters. These basically are flavor stuff. The basically just read them to get into the atmosphere. And you can, the funny thing about them is you can read them, and as you read them, the text above it actually follows your reading, so that's really nice too. A nice touch here. Now recordings, you have music, and you have diaries. Diaries you actually kind of get through the game. Recordings are the music, like from the trailers and stuff like that. Like this is one of the most famous ones. Was the House of the Rising Sun was in the trailer. House of the Rising Sun, there it is. Or maybe you can't hear it. Maybe it's a little bit too quiet. Anyway, there it is. Yeah, it's a little bit too quiet from what I can hear, but it is insanely great. The soundtrack is really good. Overall, the main theme is nice. The music they remade is nice, and I like it. Let's take a look at my statistics. Maybe a total completion 43%. I'm a D. Times died 50 times. Wow. 652 kills with 173 kills headshot and 101 stealth. Dual wield 33. For almost 1500 items taken. Wow. This is some really funny stats you can get here. Interesting. Now, as we have praised the game for a lot, for the story, that it actually has a story, and it's not like a dull, really dull story about some, oh, I'm a war hero, I'm just really trying to get home, and oh god, accidentally I end the war and become a war hero. No that shit, okay? No to that. Now, the good music, the good graphics, the good story. The minor contras for this game are: requirements are really high. You have to have a pretty decent computer to run it, and you have to have a 64-bit operating system. Forget about your 32-bit, it will not work. Don't even think about buying this game. You have a 32-bit system, because first you will have to convert to 64-bit, and that might be a pain in the ass to deal with. I know, guys, you can trust me, I did it. It's really difficult to do this. It is the reason why some of my videos don't even have thumbnails yet, because I didn't install the Photoshop yet for that. I didn't install the proper software to make the thumbnails work. And yeah, so essentially you have to go through a lot of hassle to play the game. In my opinion, it is worth it, but in the opinion of some other people, it might not be. So consider and think for yourself. Then, another contra. Considering gameplay. The stealth system is okay, but it really looks unbaked to the core. It's not like it's not at the level of actually stealth games. It's not Deus Ex, it's not Thief, it's nothing close to that. You can't even hide bodies. Like, what's the point if you can't hide bodies? Everybody can see that you killed a guard because he's just lying there on the ground. You can't hide bodies. This is a real shame. And also the cover system. The cover system is weird. It is obviously designed for the controllers, because the way that you have to hold one button and then press the directional keys to move yourself around basically the spot you stuck yourself into is really resembling the point of the controller, where you hold one button and then you move the analog, for example, and then you can position yourself and then you can shoot. That's really console-ish. Another really big major thing: no saves, no manual saves, no quick saves, just checkpoints. Keep that in mind. You have no save games. This is really bad for a game, especially released in 2014, especially contesting like the pretending to be a solid continuation of the franchise. It is a solid continuation of the franchise, but it has no save games in it. It is a real shame. Real shame. Shame on you. No save game files. Now, I think this is pretty much all I have noticed that went horribly wrong in the game. And that's, considering these are so just kind of not really game breaking things. Like you can't save. Okay, you can still get through a game with saving checkpoints. That's okay. It could have been better if you had save games manually, but it is what it is. All right, it is what it is. No multiplayer. That issue might be a turning point for some of you, because multiplayer is an important, integral part of any game. And you might be thinking, well, everybody should be just fighting with Call of Duty and Battlefield today now, right? No. It's wrong. Everyone who tried to do that failed. Even Battlefield and Call of Duty are failing now, because people... it's either a hit or a miss. You can't bank on making a good multiplayer, right? And I think the guys that made Wolfenstein realized that, and they took their time to make the single player experience more important, and more atmospheric, more integral to the game. And I think that was the right choice. My opinion, I stick to it. You might disagree, but I think it was the right decision that they decided to not do a multiplayer for the game. That pretty much sums it up for the review, I think. It's a solid game, very decent AAA title. Yes, with all minor contras, it has way more cons in it has way more pros in my opinion. So, I would definitely recommend it to anybody. And it's great fun. You have to plan your ways too. If you are a mind that is into that kind of thing, you can just go uber difficulty and plan your strategy, plan what you're gonna do, plan your tactics. This is really fun to do to me as well. You know me as a Paradox game player mostly here, but I actually enjoyed this game a lot. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up for the game. I enjoy it a lot, and I could recommend it definitely to anybody. Thank you so much for watching. It is up on Steam. You can buy it for the $50, I think, or your regional equivalent. My regional equivalent is much cheaper than that, but let's not accent on that. $50, I think, is the international kind of sort of pricing that you usually make. So anyway, thanks for watching. As always, have a good day.